Hey, it's your day, and here's my updated foundation routine. And right now, I'm showing you the primer that I'll be using, and it's from NYX Cosmetics. It's one of their newest primers, and Marsh Mellow. It's very, very nice. It makes my skin feel very soft and just glowy. So it's very hydrating for me who has dry skin, but it's just a great barrier. So my face products don't directly touch my face, and I can keep that hydrated and moisturized, if you will. Alright, so next is my Pat McGrath's Last Concealer in M17. And what I'm doing is I'm applying this concealer, the skin tones concealer, underneath my eyes and around like my lips and just areas where I have any dark spots or those bags, or you have a situation where you didn't get enough sleep. This really helps, and what it does is just fills in that said area so when you apply your foundation, you apply it on top, and it just makes your face look flawless. But there's just some tricks and tips because I have some darkness around my lips naturally. But of course, when you apply your face products, I mean, you want to cancel it out as much as possible. So this is just a method I use without having to naturally color correct, but just by using a camouflage method. So I'm now going in showing you my first foundation, which is the Milani Cosmetics 2-in-1 foundation in tan, and then a Fenty Beauty by Rihanna, and this is their hydration foundation in 385. I like to mix both of them because the Fenty foundation is really great because it's hydrating. Again, I have dry skin, but the Milani Cosmetic is really great for dry and oily skin, and it's very mattifying. So it's like perfect. I love that, but I love more of a soft matte, if you will, finish. So somewhat hydrating and skin finish and somewhat mattifying. So it kind of just meets in the middle by actually mixing those two together. A foundation shade, or both of those foundations, to create the perfect shade, if you will. Going around my eyebrows first, because I noticed like sometimes that can be like the challenging area, your eyebrows, just making sure you don't mess them up and making sure your hairline and all that mixed together. Yeah, so I like to start there, and then I'll go in with my buffer brush, as you're seeing as so, and buffing in that foundation. I like to do tapping motions, and I go around, of course, the whole perimeter of my face, and I even get my neck because it is very important, because what you're doing is you're creating a new canvas, if you will, with the foundation, so, or your face products in general. But with the foundation, you've now changed the color of your face. So you got to change the color of your neck, because if not, you're gonna have a whole two-tone situation. So always remember to get your neck, and basically just areas like your neck, and even going into your chest if need be, if it's open and exposed, because it just makes it flow all together. So right now I'm going in with a damp sponge. It's a my beauty sponge from Beauty Blender. And I like to go back and forth using this damp sponge, as well as my M4, I think it's M439 brush from Morphe Brushes. Everything will be in the description box below. So definitely check that out to make sure I am saying it correctly. But it's one of my favorite brushes, and I actually just got this sponge because I usually just use my Real Technique sponge or my Japu sponge. But this is really nice. But make sure your sponge is damp, not soaked, but damped with water. And it just really makes my face flawless using both of these techniques back and forth. And I do this for a good 10 minutes just to really get it to my liking. Next, I'm going in with my Maybelline Master Concealers, and I use two of them to do my highlighting technique. This one is the light medium, and I am just going over where the areas that naturally the light hits my face. And I'm only putting this a little bit because this product goes a long way, and it's really great because like full coverage. So if you look for a great full coverage concealer, whether you use it for just concealing or you use it for a highlighting method, these are great. But I use the light to medium first, and I'm just making small dots because again, you don't need a lot. You can make, this is a highlighting technique, and my face is already narrow, so I just really want to make it full in certain areas. However, I don't want it to be too full or too narrow, so I am just making little dots. But I do the light medium going inside to out, and then the deep medium going outside to in, because together they make the perfect shade. alone. The deep medium is a little too dark for my liking for a highlighting method, and the light medium is way too light, and I'll be looking too bright. But I am now utilizing that same sponge from earlier, and I'm just tapping very lightly because under your eye is the most sensitive spot, so you definitely want to be very gentle because you can actually create some early stage wrinkles if not. But yeah, so I'm just tapping that in and staying underneath my eye, and for the most part going to the bridge of my nose and corner of my nose or side, blending in my chin. Again, where the light naturally hits your face is where you highlight. I actually have a video up. I'll have it in the description box and in the cards of breaking down why I contour and highlight. This is just an updated version of my foundation routine to show you the products I use now. But if you want more descriptive video, I do have a playlist showing that and why contour and highlighting even exists and why you want to do it a certain way for your face and all the things. But now we're going in using my Laura Mercier powder. And this is a really cool loose powder. It's translucent, which means that it isn't going to change the color pigment from my foundation that I just did. So all that beautiful work is not going to change the color. It's just going to set it in place. I like to set my lips first because though I'm not going to get to my lips till later, but I have dry skin, and if I don't set the liquids on my lips, yeah, I have a whole cracking situation sometimes. So I do that first, and then I go in and I'm going to lightly set my face because, again, I have dry skin. This really works really well for dry skin individuals, I will say. However, I like to do it light at first, and then I'll go a little more heavy-handed. But again, this is just to set all my liquids in place, and I try to make sure that, or I definitely make sure that I'm done with all my creams and liquids before I add powders. And now I'm going in with my bronzer from Milani Cosmetics. It's in Sunkissed, and this is just going to go on the perimeter of my face. We're going to get the nice chiseled look, but I typically do this before I contour, and this just brings some more warmth to my face because what we just did is we just created a new canvas using the foundations, and then the highlighting method is just going to add the areas where your face would naturally get light if it didn't have any face products. So we're just creating a whole new face, if you will. So we got to bring some more warmth into my face because I took that away when I apply my face product or even my foundation. So that's why you contour, if you will. So it's a little tip that I will tell you about in this video, I guess. But yeah, and I'm just going to make sure my nose is to my liking, and contour using that same bronzer from earlier that I used to go around the perimeter of my face. Yeah, this is how I contour my nose. Now I use one of my brushes that I typically use for an eye look because it's smaller, and then I just contour to my liking, going over the bridge of my nose. And then what I just did was show you that I applied some powder on the bridge because I want to make sure it looks natural. Now I went into my Beauty Treats bronzer and blush matte palette, and I am now contouring. I don't cream contour because, of course, if I was to cream contour it or use a liquid foundation, what have you, I would have done that before I apply my powders. So I actually use a bronzer to contour. So that is something I probably do differently than you probably have seen with other videos. But I like to contour using bronzers. I go in with my first bronzer, as you saw, and then I go in another one, really, sculpting that face. But to make it look extra sculpted and defined is now with me using this powder trick. And this is the Makeup Revolution's baking powder, and I think it's Banana Deep. And I'm going in with a damp sponge. This is a Chapu sponge. And I'm going over those areas where I highlighted earlier. So underneath my eye, bridge of my nose, my forehead, my chin. And what the highlighting effect does is it allows you, again, you're creating a whole new canvas, a whole new face. It allows you to actually see where my cheekbones are. So when you contour, you're pretty much defining those cheekbones because some of us don't even have any. So that's just a great trick to, make some, if you will. But The powder actually worked as a way to lift up that contour where it creates an illusion of making it seem like you have these very nice scoped cheekbones. And as you can see, I'm putting some powder right behind where I contour, and that's going to make it seem like my nose is naturally made this way. So the same thing I'm doing with this powder. And you can use any kind of powder. You can use translucent powder. I just like the effect of this Banana Deep. And again, you want to get the right powders for you. I would say if you're beginner friendly, just do something that's translucent because this is a color powder. That's why it's called Banana Deep. So it has a yellow undertone to it. And yellow undertone is just not going to work for everybody. But for me, I have a yellow undertone, so it works perfectly for me. And I love the look. But yes, as you can see how it just lifted everything. So it's just a little fun powder trick, and aka highlighting trick, just using powder. Alright, so I'm going in with my NYX Cosmetics Finishing Powder in Deep Golden. And this is just my last powder slash product, well, almost last product of choice. And this just blends everything out. It's very warm. And before I used two bronzers that were cool undertones, so I like to finish it off with a warm undertone just to make it flow and to bring the right definition to my face. But it's really great because it actually blends everything together, and it just makes that color that I naturally have without face products come back to life in my face. As you can see, my face won't look as dull as it did before. So it's really nice, and I love that it's baked too. And now I'm going in using my blush, and this is from Milani Cosmetics and Romantic Rose. This is like the perfect touch to end this makeup product looks before we actually add my setting spray. So lastly is my setting spray, and with setting spray I love to do at least 2 pumps. I'm going to be using the Benefit setting spray in Super Setter. I like to make this beautiful S shape, and like I said, I'll do 2 sprays, but make sure you use either a personal fan that you can have in your hand, a fan you can stand in front of, or your hand like I'm doing it so. But you're going to be doing this for at least a good 5 to 7 minutes just to make sure everything sets in place. But I am a brand ambassador with Astrology Trends, which is a Black-owned company that specializes with astrology and zodiac signs. I am a Cancer, by the way, so that's why you're seeing a lot of Cancer items. And this is the Cancer period shirt that you can use using my discount code for a percentage off your order. And now I'm about to show you some of their newest jewelry. This is the sterling silver choker necklace. And again, you can use my discount code to get a percentage off your order. And they also sent me this adjustable ring, as well as some nice dangly earrings. So anything that you see, just by using my discount code ANYESHIRTDAY10, and anything that you see on the website as a whole, you can definitely use my discount code, even on custom orders, because they do make custom orders. But that's the video. I hope you love it. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and definitely check out Astrology Trends and get some of the latest fashion in astrology and zodiac signs. See you in my next video. Bye.